hair. Shortly before COVID hit, in October of 2019, I decided to color a streak of my hair blue. I had wanted to do this for years, not as any political statement, but because I wanted to have some fun, and because I'm a gamer and an anime fan. Although it turned out to make me more accessible to some adolescents and gamers, that was not the point. I was in private practice for over a decade before I was brave enough to risk it. And at the time, it felt risky rather than being branding. Another interpretation people have voiced over the years. Since then, I have had any number of people make public and private comments about my hair color. One woman I passed on the street said to me, "I love your hair." And when I thanked her and said hers was nice too, went out of the way to clarify. "Oh, I didn't mean it. I was being sarcastic." Over the years, the number of interpretations people have felt free to voice about my hair have included, but are not limited to, looking like an angry Haight-Ashbury lesbian, being in solidarity with lesbians, declaring my politics as a Democrat, desperately wanting attention, being a raver, having a midlife crisis, and many more. Although I do in fact like a bit of positive attention, the unsolicited feedback I get on my coiffure has made me occasionally consider getting rid of it. If it weren't for AI a few months back, I might very well have. I had sent a post out to a few listservs asking for help with a survey. One person replied, not with a response to the survey, but with this comment. Quote, "I figured after so many years of reading your posts, I'd offer some private feedback. In the little picture of yourself that comes with your posts, there is some blue color above your forehead. It has always confused and distracted me. It gives an impression of something's amiss. I don't know what. After all this time, it raises the question, why hasn't that been fixed? I actually thought it was a COVID mask and couldn't understand why you'd keep showing that. Today I took a moment and clicked on the picture. It got big enough that I could see blued hair and sunglasses. So now I have a similar impression, and surely not the one you'd want to create if you are offering your authority as a trainer. The impression is of a partier who is out for fun. Damn, I agree. Life is fun. Even the difficult times are rich in experience. But it strikes me as off-brand for someone offering a serious psychoanalytic training service. I hope you take this well. We don't know each other, and our personal relationship has no weight, just some image feedback. I know Gen Z and millennials often get accused of being rude in the workplace, so let me divulge that Bob, not his real name, is solidly in the boomer generation. I will say this person is a highly educated professional. Obviously, his comments were surprising and hurtful, both that he took the time to email me them and their content, but also because it made me wonder what motivated them as well. So I pasted them into Claude AI and asked, psychoanalyze the following response to a workshop survey for conscious and unconscious motivations. Here's what Claude AI had to say. Here's a psychoanalytic interpretation of this response, examining both conscious and potential unconscious motivations. Conscious motivations. 1. Desire to provide constructive feedback. Bob explicitly states he wants to offer, quote, private feedback, quote, after following Mike's posts for years. 2. Concern for professional image. Bob expresses worry that Mike's profile picture may not align with the serious nature of psychoanalytic training. 3. Clarity seeking. Bob describes his journey from confusion to understanding regarding the blue element in the picture. 4. Goodwill. Bob hopes his feedback will be well received, suggesting a conscious intent to be helpful rather than critical. Potential unconscious motivations. 1. Projection of personal anxieties. Bob's fixation on the "something's amiss" impression may reflect his own anxieties about professional appearance or conduct. 2. Displacement. The intense focus on a minor detail of Mike's appearance could be displacing deeper feelings or criticisms about Mike's content or approach that Bob is uncomfortable expressing directly. 3. Reaction formation. The overly polite tone and disclaimers about their lack of personal relationship might mask underlying hostility or resentment towards Mike's perceived authority. 4. Narcissistic wound. Bob may feel slighted by years of one-sided interaction, reading posts without acknowledgement, and this feedback could be an unconscious attempt to assert his own importance or expertise. 5. Superego demands. The strong reaction to perceived unprofessionalism might indicate a rigid superego, possibly reflecting Bob's own internalized standards or unresolved conflicts about balancing professionalism and personal expression. 6. Transference. Bob's reaction to the image as off-brand and potentially undermining Mike's authority could reflect unresolved issues with authority figures in his past. 7. Envy. The comment about Mike being a partier who is out for fun might indicate unconscious envy of Mike's perceived freedom to express himself while maintaining professional status. 8. Control. By offering unsolicited advice on Mike's image, Bob may be unconsciously attempting to exert control in a relationship where he has previously been a passive observer. The juxtaposition of the detailed critique with assertions of goodwill and lack of personal relationship suggests ambivalence in Bob's feelings towards Mike. This response reveals a complex interplay of conscious intent to be helpful and unconscious motivations rooted in personal insecurities, professional jealousies, and unresolved transference issues. Now, I'm not implying that AI can or will replace psychotherapists, but Claude certainly raised some very valid and interesting interpretations, some of which had not occurred to me. It also provided some auxiliary ego functioning when I was in my feelings and bewildered by the communication. I hesitate to say there's one moral to this story, but maybe there are several items which are food for thought. Technology can amplify the aggressive drives. Human intelligence may provide interpretations which are inaccurate and based on implicit bias. AI can be a useful tool to explore interpretations and help regulate affect. Americans like to think they can tolerate difference, but they can't. In fact, they are often provoked by it. And hundreds of years after the Puritans landed here, we still have a really hard time having fun and being playful. Of course, for every person who has made such a comment or looked askance at my blue hair, there have been several more who have said kind or complimentary things about it. The highest demographic of well-wishers have been BIPOC women, and I've wondered if there is some unconscious solidarity around having one's hair exoticized or hyper-focused on going on there. I'd like to say that I'm determined to keep my blue hair forever, but I'm not sure I won't get exhausted by the wild analysis and hostility at some point. Instead, I have decided on a more modest goal. Until my daughter draws a picture of me with my blue hair, it isn't going anywhere.